Hello, this is Deborah with Black Education TV, and I'm going to be discussing daughters of Zion that are quite rude and nasty. And I'm going here because I said that I would in a recent video where I was addressing brothers who go after Becky and how they will come up with many different reasons, which are really just excuses as to why they go after Becky. But in that, I said I wanted to discuss some things dealing with the daughters of Zion, in which I got a couple of replies from brothers that kind of really stuck out to me. Well, one was actually posted on Facebook, and the other was under the video itself. And the one under the video, the brother actually stated that he was, a well-to-do brother as far as taking care of himself, and he raised his two children, and he's a pretty nice guy. He has a lot going on for himself. And he went on to talk about how he owns land and, a number of different things. He farms his land or what have you, and he's just got a number of different things going on. And how so-called black women are completely turned off by that. They don't care that he owns land, that, he's trying to farm and take care of his family, and that he's a good-looking man and just have his stuff together. He has his stuff together. But on the other hand, he says those of other nations, Gentiles, white people or people of other nations, they look at that and they're like, wow, they're interested, you see. But black women don't give him the time of day. And they are not impressed by his land or anything like that. Okay. Now, the other brother, he's a friend on Facebook, and he had shared a story about how he simply tried to hold a door for a so-called black woman. And her response was, I got it. I got it. He said she was very rude and very nasty towards him. And he's like, I'm not trying to take you out on a date or get in your panties or anything. I'm just holding the door for you, woman. But the response that he gets is this rude, nasty attitude. Now, like I said, there are some daughters of Zion out here that are very rude and nasty, but they don't understand what this does for all of us, meaning all black women, because there are enough rude, nasty black women out there to where some people will use that as an excuse not to deal with any black women. Now, you and I both know that not all black women are like that. I'm not like that, and most of the people I know are not like that either. But we can't afford to let these loose-lipped, loose-tongued, loose women represent us. We've got to represent the so-called black woman ourselves, the Israelite women. We've got to represent in such a positive light to where women like that are overshadowed, because they are out there and they are making waves, making us look bad with their loud mouths. Like the scripture said, with their loud mouths, their necks stretched forth, with their clanking of the heels and all of this, with their pride. Now, what I find sad is that, like the brother said, she wasn't even all that cute, but he was trying to be a gentleman. The number of times I've heard scenarios like that is too many. My son went through something similar. My husband, before we met, went through something similar. I remember one of my husband's co-workers went through something similar with a loud, nasty, rude black woman. There's a young man on YouTube. He was explaining something that happened to him as well, very similar, where he was being polite and nice to a young woman who was working at a fast food restaurant. He was there as a customer. She was there taking his order. He said something nice to her, and she just popped off on him. And what he did, he popped off right back on her, and he went in on her. He said she wasn't attractive or anything, and he just played off on all of that. See, first, he was trying to be nice to you, but because you were so rude, now he embarrassed the heck out of you. He talked about how she looked, her facial bumps and all of this stuff. So she shined light on her own self. She sunk her own ship. Black women, you are sinking your own ship with this rude, nasty attitude. Not all of us, family. I'm talking about those who the shoe fits. I remember my son when he was a teenager. Certain young women would look at him like he was a little nerd or whatever. And they would say various things. And, oh, he's cute, but look at his shoes. They thought that stuff was funny, too. Look at his clothes, just making fun of him. I thank Yah that our son is such an individual to where he doesn't care what these people say about his shoes and about his clothes. Our son works a job to where he's putting up most of his money while his friends and some of his coworkers are spending most of theirs. And they asked him, what's up with your shoes, man? What's up with that? The young people in the neighborhood would ask him, what's up with his shoes? Where did he get them from? And he would proudly say, I got them from Walmart. I don't care about shoes like that. And while you're so busy out here spending hundreds of dollars on a pair of shoes that aren't going to look like anything in 3 or 4 months, you have young men like Elia just saving their money. But you have these young women out here insulting, or should I say, think they're insulting him by talking about his shoes and things of that nature. No, you're insulting yourself. You are insulting yourself. Same thing with my husband. He was telling me when he was a teenager how various young women, they were into the thugs. They liked those fellas that were just hard. Street thugs type men or type fellas. That's what they liked. And so if you were too nice, they don't give you the time of day. That is what we see happening a lot with our women. Even into adulthood. They will say that this man over here is too boring. Oh, I don't like how short he is. Oh, I don't like the way he wears his hair. I don't like his job. All of these requirements, all these things that they don't like. And then as the clock ticks away, then they chip away at their requirements. Now, I'm talking about those who are nasty and rude, those who won't give good men a chance. The number of times I've heard so-called black women say they wouldn't date a garbage man, to me it is appalling. I'm just going to be honest with you, family. I'm going to be honest with you. That's a man with a job. This is a man who had enough integrity to say, I'm not going to sit at home and do nothing. I'm going to take care of my family, even if it means driving a garbage truck. But when you as a woman can't catch the vision because you're so busy looking for this over there, the shiny thing in the corner, the shiny thing in the corner just might be the one to knock you upside your head and treat you like trash, while the garbage man will treat you like a lady. So for all of you with all of these requirements and this rude, nasty attitude, you're treating good brothers like they're nothing, like they're trash, there's a penalty for that. There is a penalty for that. And sometimes other women pay your penalty. Sometimes your own children pay your penalty because of your rudeness and your nastiness. You give brothers excuses. I'm not going to say reasons because some of them are just looking for an excuse. But you give brothers excuses to say, well, black women are just nasty and rude, so I'm going to look over here. The one that really saddened me, though, was the brother who said he had the land and how these black women are just not interested. It is really, truly sad the state that our people are in, the state of mind that our people are in. And for a black woman not to know and understand the value of land, it shows that we have definitely been miseducated. When you have white people, white women looking at this brother like, I'll stand in line for you. A lot of white women will gladly get out there on the farm and ride horses around on this brother's property because you think it's nothing. You look at it as a big chore. Well, who's going to take care of all that land? I don't want to deal with no horses. What do I want to do with land? We need to grow and understand what culture is. We need to understand what wealth is. We've been watching various documentaries for a project that we're working on. And the young black farmers, I'm telling you right now, there needs to be a major revival of young black farmers, because we were looking at a lot of older farmers. And when I say older, I'm talking about some of them in their 80s and 90s, sitting back wondering, is my family going to keep this land? Literally family. We're talking about people, elderly black people, worried that when they pass on, that the family land will be no more, because our people just don't understand the value of land. We'd rather sell it and give it away and move to the city. And some of these older people are having a hard time getting their younger family members to come and take their part in 150 acres. I'm like, gee whiz, some of us would love to be able to have some 150 acres to farm. Now, don't get me wrong. Some of us are starting to know and understand and realize the value of land, but not enough of us, because a lot of family members, a lot of people with family members that have land and leave it to them, what they were saying is most times it goes on the market for sale because we have no interest in trying to farm anymore. And so that's why that particular story stood out when the one brother said black women don't give him a time of day. They don't understand the value of a good man. They don't understand the value in owning land with a good man. They'd rather have the shiny thing in the corner, who they feel is going to just please them sexually. But they don't realize when that plays out, what next? What next? The problem is too many people are looking at looks, and they're looking at a person's body. We are really going to bring it, family, in this marriage series. We're really going to bring it because there are some truths that need to be uncovered. It's not exactly what it seems, family. Marriage really, truly is a mystery. And there is a reason why we see the breakdown in the family structure in the black community. There's a reason why women are in the situations that they're in. There's a reason why men are in the situations that they're in. Family, we have much work to do. Much work to do. And so, for all of you black women who choose to be a certain way towards black men, you don't understand that this path that you're on is a destructive path. Don't even allow bad experiences with other black men to cause you to look at a potentially good black man and mistreat him. I feel like this. We can't afford to be rude, mean, and nasty to each other, period. So many times I just see black people, the way we deal with each other is just so cold. So cold. We can't even speak to each other in public. But as soon as massa walks by, your smile gets so big, you would swear that the sunshine was in your mouth. We just have this please massa mentality and despise each other thing going on. Instead of despising each other, we need to love each other. Take care of one another. Hey, sisters, stop being so rude to brothers for no reason. Because first of all, some of them ain't going to take it. I forgot my husband's previous co-worker. That brother, he was a little bit different. They used to drive a truck. My husband and this brother, they used to drive a truck for machine company back in Michigan. And this brother was, I think my husband said he was over 6 feet tall, and he was big, and he didn't play. And he said one time they went to, I think it was McDonald's or something, and there was a young woman there behind the counter, and she started being mean, rude, and nasty to Doug, this big 6 foot tall black man. And this black man scared the hell out of her. He lit into her so bad. And the things that he said to her, I can't even repeat. But it was enough to scare her straight. She was humiliated because all of her co-workers were laughing. Customers were laughing. See, you can't play these silly games with everyone. You can't be mean and rude and nasty to everyone. And so we, as the daughters of Zion, we've got to get our act together. We're sitting back wondering, trying to figure out why black men are leaving and going to other races. And like I said, many of them are just using rude, nasty, overbearing black women as an excuse, when really we know the real reason. But again, family, daughters of Zion, we need to check ourselves and make sure that we are handling ourselves the way daughters of Zion should. Whether you're single or married, it doesn't matter, because even for married women, we've got to be a certain way. We've got to handle ourselves a certain way. And like I said, with this marriage series, we are going to bring it. So stay tuned, family. Much love to you and shalom.